Good morning. I'm Keith Glass, City of Monroe Police Department, and I got Lieutenant Tracy Hanson with me today. And what we want to do is point out a problem that's not only citywide, but it's probably a nationwide, statewide, and countywide problem, and that's just litter. And while this is not the most devastating crime that we deal with in the City of Monroe, as you can see from the video, it's a lot of trash, and we're standing right here at the East Spring Street exit coming off 78 Highway, and this litter was picked up about 10 or 12 days ago. And what I'm want to express to you is this is your community. If you see somebody littering, go ahead and call the 911, give them a tag number, and officers inside the city will respond to that. If you can't call 911 for some reason, if you can take down a tag number, Lieutenant Tracy Hanson is going to kind of be heading up something for me on this litter for a while, and I'd ask that you just email her the tag number. Her email is thanson@monroega.gov. That's thanson@monroega.gov. And again, it's your community, and as you can see, and he'll scan around and show you some more trash, but this trash was picked up with community service by community service workers about 12 days ago, and you can see how much is built up. So we really need your assistance, and we're looking at some ways also of places where we have a lot of this, maybe getting some video out there so we can catch them also on video. But we just need your help with that, and if you have any other problems with the crime or whatever in the City of Monroe that we can help you with, please contact us at the City of Monroe Police Department.
I just look forward to hearing from citizens here in the community, and we can work together and hopefully make Monroe not only a safer place, but more appealing to the eye. And just like Chief said, just email me with any problems. If you see anyone littering, or if you can get a tag number, and we can follow up with those people, just email me, thanson@monroega.gov.
And we thank you for your help.
It's your home, it's your dream. Radon test and keep it healthy and clean. Make it green, green, green. Making it green is making sure the air in your home is healthy for your family to breathe. Make sure you test your home for the presence of radon. It's easy. To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN. Preserve your family's health and well-being. Get your home tested. Now that's living healthy and green. Green, green, green. It's your home, it's your dream. Radon test and keep it healthy and clean. Make it green, green, green. To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN.
Creative artists can transfer your 8mm, Super 8mm, and 16mm films, as well as converting your VHS, CVHS, 8mm, and mini DV to DVD. Preserve your family's video history for the generations to come. Creative Artists, 1113 West Spring Street, Monroe, 770-267-7368.
And thank you for taking the time to come to our first chamber lunch of this year. So thank you for being here. Before I introduce our sponsor today, I want to ask someone to stand up so we can recognize him. He didn't know I was going to do this, but Hal Breedlove did a phenomenal job as chairman of the board last year for our chamber. So Hal, will you stand up real quick? You'll notice after serving for a year, Hal's as far away from the podium as he can get. So Hal, thank you for your great job last year. We appreciate it very much. You know, without our sponsors, we could not have these lunches. And our sponsor today is Walton EMC. Walton EMC is very involved in our community in many ways. And we appreciate so much them sponsoring our lunch today. And at this time, I'm going to ask Chief Taylor to make his way up from Walton EMC to do our invocation and pledge. And then he'll be followed by Greg Brooks with the sponsor remarks and introduction of our program today. At this time, would you please welcome Greg Brooks, Communications Coordinator for Walton EMC and our sponsor today, to the podium. Thank you, Greg.
It's our great pleasure to be here today. Thank you, Gary, for that mention of our service to the community. And actually, as a customer-owned company or cooperative, we operate by a set of principles. And one of those principles is concern for community. So we're mandated to serve the community, but above that, it's the right thing to do as part of our job, and we enjoy doing it. So thank you for allowing us to do that for you. We have several employees here today from Walton EMC. If you're a Walton EMC employee, if you just stand and let people see who you are. Appreciate that. I just want to give you a very quick snapshot of Walton EMC today. And I've got some facts and figures for you, and I'll try to get on through these pretty quickly so we get on with the program. But just so you'll know, Walton EMC, we serve about 123,000 accounts over 10 counties, but a little over 25,000 of those are here in Walton County. We also have a natural gas subsidiary, which is the 4th largest in Georgia, and we have a security subsidiary as well, which is in the top 50 security companies in the country. And you all know Hal Brady, and I'm sure he'd be glad to talk to you about EMC security. Last year, 2014, Walton EMC showed a revenue of $251 million. This is the cool part to me. Also last year in 2014, and specifically in December, we returned $5 million back to our members, or customer owners as we call them. Since we're owned by our customers, it doesn't make sense to make a profit from them, so we return the excess back to them. All time, we have returned $71 million back to our customer owners. Property taxes. We paid $2.7 million last year, $1.1 million in property taxes to Walton County. We also pay ad valorem taxes, sales taxes, and we collect franchise fees for a lot of the cities. The only tax we don't pay is income tax because we don't make income, we return that back to our members. We're the 2nd largest taxpayer in Walton County. We're also very proud of the donations that we make for our community. Last year we made over $875,000 in donations, and that includes $90,000 that the employees themselves got out and worked and raised. And you see, we have a golf tournament coming up in April, and I'm sure Kathy Ivey would like to talk to you about that if you want to be in our golf tournament. So we enjoy serving our community. Is one of the things that we take pride in, and thank you again for allowing us to do that. One of the things we want to do today is we want to let you know about some opportunities and some services that we can provide you as businesses and industries and commercial accounts. So I'm going to let Pat Merritt, she's with our statewide trade association, Georgia EMC. She's the manager of community development, and she's going to come up in just a minute and talk about the services that they can offer.
Well, good afternoon. How are y'all doing? Had a great lunch. I want to thank Greg for inviting me to come out and speak to you. I've recently changed my territory. I've worked statewide for many, many years with the electric co-ops, and I've just fortunately hired some new employees, so now I'm working Northeast Georgia. So Diane, I don't have to drive 5 hours to my territory anymore. So that's awesome. And Greg, after this meeting, we are headed around Walton EMC's territory to meet some of my main contacts that I'll be working with throughout the next few years. So because Walton EMC subscribes to Georgia EMC's Community and Economic Development Program, they have access to a host of resources and tools and people like me who can come in and help your community get more economically viable. And that's really the primary purpose of what we do. Our statewide project managers work very closely with the Georgia Department of Economic Development programs project managers to help companies locate in the state. They also work with site selection consultants, folks like Shane Short, to attract new business and industry to your areas. And they also work with local businesses and industries who are looking to expand in your area. So we hope that you'll keep us in mind as you work projects, and Shane, we'll be helping Shane as he goes about his job, and you'll hear more about that later. Our retail recruitment services provide marketing materials and assist with the attraction of new retail, primarily big box, larger entities such as grocery stores, which we all want that really top-notch grocery store pretty close to our home, don't we? And they also assist in helping to fill those retail commercial gaps in your community by doing research and providing you with demographics. So if you need any of those services, see me after the program. And then our technical services team works with community leaders and folks who run economic development authorities to help them identify new industrial property, to help them do conceptual site designs on industrial property, to do 3D modeling for new industrial buildings on a piece of land that has absolutely nothing on it. They can help the prospect get much more comfortable in visualizing their specific building on a CAD-ready site. And then my group is the one I'm most proud of, because we really come in and help communities prepare for economic development. Whether it be leadership development, we work with both youth groups and adult groups. We do kickoff retreats. We also teach modules of leadership programs such as economic development, basic communication styles, etc. And we also do a lot of strategic planning, meeting facilitation, mediation, and other services like that for economic development related programs. And that's one of my favorite things to do, and especially if it's working with multiple groups. We often do community-wide community retreats where we take the entities from each of the major organizations within your community, whether it be the Board of Education, County Commission, City Councils, Hospital Authority, Airport Authority, Development Authority, and bring them all together to help come up with a plan and a vision for your future. So help you decide what you want Walton County to be. And then we also co-facilitate a program called the Georgia Academy for Economic Development. We helped create it 21 years ago. It's been ongoing since then. And we have a class starting up in Athens, which covers this region, next Wednesday. And I believe Savannah, you and Cindy will both be a part of that class. And I hope others who are in this meeting will also consider going through it if you haven't. And we look forward to working with all of you on improving the region in that way. I've gotten to facilitate the senior leadership of Walton EMC, and I've also facilitated the board of EMC Security. And I know that what they do in your communities is not because they have to, it's not because they're mandated to, it's because they love their communities. And that's why they extend themselves in many ways and in many fashions to help Walton County and the rest of their the other 9 counties, but particularly Walton County since they're headquartered here. So please take advantage of their services, and through them you can reach our services. So thank you.
It's my great pleasure today to introduce our program. And our program today is Shane Short, and Shane is the Executive Director of the Walton County Development Authority, and he's been there since July 2013. And there's an extensive biography in your program that I would encourage you to read, but I just want to pull out a couple of the highlights here. Prior, he was the CEO of the Jackson County Area Chamber of Commerce, and while he was there, he brought over 3,200 jobs into that community, which is very impressive. Here's what Terry Smiley has to say about him. Shane is a great friend of the chamber, the cities, the county, and other community organizations. He's assisted with marketing and volunteered his time, and we appreciate his community involvement. He has some interesting interests, you might say. Auctions and antiquing, repurposing weather vanes, and working with windows and stained glass. And most important, he's married to Sally Ann and has a daughter, Savannah. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Shane Short.
I believe Terry said those nice things because I helped her design her ads for the chamber. And she needs me. Thank you for letting me speak to you today. It's my pleasure to talk to you about the Development Authority of Walton County and a little bit about who we are, how we're structured, and what's going on in Walton County. So if you don't mind, I'm going to use a presentation today to tell you a little bit about that, but I thought I would start by just saying what is economic development. And economic development doesn't just happen in your community. It's actually a real process that influences what takes place. As a result, job creation, job retention, improved tax base, and a reasonable quality of life all is affected by economic development. And that process begins with increased private investment, which equals new jobs, lower employment, reduced poverty, and higher incomes, which results in an increased demand for products and services. And when that all happens, there's an employment multiplier that we call, and it goes back to more private investment. But besides that, each community is different. And I've had the privilege to serve in 3 separate communities, working with the Chambers of Commerce and Economic Development. And I can tell you every community has their own needs. For example, the needs in where I came from in Jackson County were a lot different than what's here in Walton County. So you have to adjust your economic development process based on what the community's needs are and what types of industries that you're trying to recruit to come to your community. And economic development in simple terms is this. Money comes into the community and then money goes out of your community. So what's the role of the economic developer in your community? That's to help try and bring in more money and help plug the leaks. So for example, when I said each community is different, Loganville is quite different than Monroe. You'll see a lot more retail development in Loganville than you happen to see in Monroe or even Social Circle. So those Monroe and Social Circle need more retail development to help plug some of those leaks as well, so that you try and keep as much money into your community as you possibly can, so that it's not going somewhere else. And the tax money that comes from all of those people spending money in your community goes to support programs and services through your county governments, parks and recreation, and your fire and all of that kind of good stuff that makes us a great community to live in and improves our quality of life. I like this quote by Sir Francis Bacon, who said, "Money is like manure. Of very little use except to be spread." Well, I'm not promoting socialism here today, but in terms of economic development, this is a good quote, because that money that comes in through the companies that we recruit into our community is spread out into the community and has a multiplier effect. The jobs that they bring in, the salaries that they pay people, those people spend money in our community and support our small businesses, and it's a cycle that's repeated. So the more money, our investment in our community that we can bring in, the better off of a quality of life that we have, or improved quality of life. So how are we structured in Walton County in terms of economic development? It starts with the County Board of Commissioners. And they have contracted with the Development Authority of Walton County to provide the service of economic development. And the Board of Commissioners created the Development Authority of Walton County in order to do this. And it's our job to take their investment and recruit new industry or private industry into the community. And who funds the Development Authority? Well, through that contract, we are funded partially through the Walton County Board of Commissioners. We also receive funds through the sale or leasing of property, and we receive compensation from revenue bonds that we do for companies locating in our community, and interest-bearing accounts. I can tell you that we don't have much in our interest-bearing accounts right now, so we receive very little from that. But that's how we are funded through the Development Authority in order to do what we need to do. And I can assure you that for the small budget that we have, this community gets a great deal in turn on their return on investment. In our competition today, it's not just 3 or 4 cities in the state of Georgia. Our competition today is worldwide. Companies look in all different countries to locate today. One of our larger projects that we were working on earlier this year, we were competing with 3 different countries on that project. So you really got to have a strong community in order to attract some of the companies today. So how does the site selection work? How do they choose which community they're going to locate, or how they narrow it down even? Well, it's primarily done today by consultants. Companies hire a site consultant or some kind of real estate consultant to help them search for those companies. And gone are the days where you can say, well, we've got so much acreage in our community, we'd love for you to come take a look at it. They're looking for a reason today to take you off of that list. So they may start with a list of 100 different criteria that they think the perfect community will fit, and they start narrowing it down. And if you don't meet a lot of what they're looking for, you come off the list. And they're looking for those communities that best fit those needs. And I can tell you, just the slightest little thing can edge you out at the very end when a company is looking to locate in your community. And you probably want to know what's the latest news through the Development Authority. Well, let me tell you a little bit about what we've done, and then we'll get into more of that. One of the big things we've done this year is we purchased another 121 acres adjacent to Piedmont Regional Industrial Park. It's actually in our park. The yellow line that you see on the screen is the former Angel Food building, and the red line is the additional acreage that we purchased there. And we can offer companies up to 300 acres inside of Walton County that needs to locate in our community. One of the other big things we've done just recently, you've probably heard about, is that we purchased that old Angel Food building, 690 Unicia Drive, and we're going to use that building to recruit a company to locate here. Although we have a lot of land and we had some great land in our industrial park, a lot of companies are looking for existing facilities. They're on a fast timeline. They need a place where they can start with quickly. And this will give us an increased option and a better option to recruit one of those companies into our community. We're in the process now of doing a lot of demolition inside the building. In about 3 weeks, it'll all be taken back to just a warehouse like it was when it was first built. We have some regional partnerships. We have partnered with Newton and Newton County to develop a mega site down in the Social Circle area. It's over 2,600 acres, and we're calling it the Historic Parkland Mega Site. And that is a rail-served site, which means that we can recruit an extremely large company to locate in that area. And we've had some great activity on that site, and we're looking forward to some additional activity on that site. The company's looking to locate there that will provide a large number of jobs for us. About 30% of that property is in Walton County and about 70% in Newton County. And we've also partnering with Morgan County. There's a 600-acre tract that's in both Walton and Morgan. The majority of that is in Walton County near the Baxter site, where we can recruit a company to locate. There are several companies on that site if necessary, and maybe even develop another industrial park in that area. So we're really excited about that Both of those sites are along the I-20 corridor. In 2015, well, actually 14, I should say, we had 34 companies that actually considered relocating in Walton County. And their investment range was from anywhere from $3 million to companies many times the size of Baxter. So we've had a broad range of companies looking to locate here. The employee range was from 50 to thousands, many thousands. And most all of those, which makes me excited, were manufacturers, not distribution centers. There's nothing wrong with a distribution center. We like those too. But the reason I like manufacturers is they tend to have a large investment in your community, and their salaries tend to be a little bit more, and it's much easier for a manufacturer to shut down, a distribution center to shut down than a manufacturer. So for a number of reasons, we prefer manufacturers, but we'll take anything we can get. So, and we'll get to some questions. Look, I'm sure some of you may have some. So why would a company look at Walton County? Why choose us over somebody else? Because there are thousands and thousands of communities out there that are competing for these companies. So why us? Well, we're located within an hour of Atlanta. That has its own benefits. Hartsfield, Jackson, CDC, Georgia Tech, Emory University, University of Georgia. Some of those, we have an interstate that runs through the south end of our county, which is great for us. So that puts us in a good location. A lot of companies prefer to be within 1 hour of an international airport, and we're fortunate that we've got one of those. Obviously, we've got plenty of land. We've got anywhere from 7 to 300 plus acres of industrial land available today for a company. And our population. Anybody want to take a guess on what our population is? 40-mile radius from our county seat. Anybody want to guess? 3.2? 2.9 million people. 29% of Georgia's population is within that radius of where we are today. That means we've got tremendous access to a quality workforce. We got a lot of people that can drive here. And people drive even longer than that to get to a job site today. So with our great highway network that we have, people can get here easily into Walton County. A lot of people right there. And I mentioned the highways that we have. We got great access to highways and interstates in our community. And you can see on the map there how close we really are to Atlanta. So that position gives us a little advantage over some. And then the Hard Labor Creek Reservoir. I can't tell you the importance of that reservoir when it comes to economic development. It was probably one of the best decisions that your commissioners have made in terms of putting us in a better position for economic development. A lot of companies, major companies, need a lot of water. And we're going to be able to pull millions of gallons of water a day out of that reservoir for a company's use. And a lot of those companies use that water, treat it, and put it back in the reservoir, which recycles that water. But that's going to give us a better opportunity to recruit different kinds of companies in our communities, more high-tech companies, maybe even like a microchip manufacturer that uses a lot of water. So it does increase our opportunities for recruiting different kinds of companies. And we have what's necessary. We've got the infrastructure that those companies are going to need. We've got electricity, we've got water, we've got sewer. That's probably our weakest point in some areas, but that's even being improved as we speak. We've got gas and we've got fiber optics, especially in the city of Monroe. They got a great fiber optic network. So we've got the utilities that a company would need to locate here. And we've got existing industries. So why would that be important to a new company locating here? Well, they look at companies that are already here, especially those that are fortune companies that you can recognize. And if those companies can succeed here, the general thought is, and we probably can succeed here too, there's a reason that those companies are in our community, and they are doing well in our community. So that speaks well for us when we try and recruit new companies. And those, you can bet that a company looking to locate in our community is going to talk to those people before they come. And we've got great education resources within a 50-mile radius of where we are. A lot of great colleges and universities that a company could access, especially the University of Georgia and Georgia Tech and Emory University, and then the medical college. You know, it depends on the type of industry, but we've got great access to colleges and universities. And I couldn't say any more about how important the Walton Proud initiative is for economic development. The Chamber is responsible for creating that program. Companies like to know that your community gets along and they're working together. And when we can highlight Walton Proud and what they do with the public and private education systems, that speaks well about our community. And we're very pro-business government. I can tell you that the leadership in every one of our communities, our cities in Walton County, and those three cities highlighted there because that's where our industrial areas are, they work together. They're all representative on the Development Authority, and they do what it takes to get a company here. If I pick up the phone and call any one of the leaders of our local governments, they're there to help and do whatever we need. And not every community is like that. And I can tell you that if it's a company looking to locate in Social Circle, Loganville and Monroe and Walton County are going to be right there to help them and make sure that they're able to provide what's needed for that company. Also, what's important for our economic development is we are in a joint development authority, and a company looking to locate in that joint development authority can get special tax incentives, and that's in Stanton Springs. You've heard about that. That's where Baxter is located, and Baxter's coming along great. I'll show you an aerial of that in just a minute. But with the Jasper, Newton, Morgan, and Walton counties, they do a great job of partnering together with that joint development authority. Kevin Little sits on that, and they do a good job promoting our community. And if you haven't seen Baxter, that's an aerial. It's even a little more developed than when this photo was taken, but it's a large facility, very huge. At the bottom, the little arched building there is their visitor center and some administration areas. And it's just huge. I mean, they got their own amphitheater out there and for the employees and for the community at some point, they say. And, but Baxter really changed things for us as well, because it highlighted our area for major economic development. One of the world's largest companies to locate in our community, and that says a lot for what this community has done to prepare for economic development. And I feel like we've got one of the best quality of life out there. You hear that a lot from every economic developer that I know of, but I think we've got one of the best. I love our communities. They do a great job in promoting quality of life. You know, with the concerts outside in Loganville and Monroe, and then the markets that they have, and just the theater, just the whole package I think we've got in our community. A lot of communities don't have some of what we have, and we've got a great quality of life. So I always like to talk about that as well. And with that, I'd like to open up the floor for some questions about the Development Authority and economic development. The members of the Development Authority are always open when I need. And because of their backgrounds, with, like for example, Morris Short, our chair, has a banking background and water and sewer, that helps a lot. Neil Jackson with real estate, he understands that market. Tom Carter with the business community, in addition to the local governments. You know, I call Kevin a pretty good bit. Kevin probably he and Morris are the top two people that I call upon. And whenever I need something, they're there to help. But I am the only employee.
The reason I asked the question, during your slide, I thought the biggest opportunity was you said that there were like 100 consultants in the country that really directed businesses to localities. So from my perspective is, how are you targeting those 100 consultants? You can't do it by yourself.
Yeah, that's a great question. In our area, you can get a company interested in the city primarily through two ways. One is through the State Department of Economic Development. And they do an outstanding job, Georgia does, working with the utilities that like Pat talked about earlier, and helping to locate the right fit in the community throughout the state. The other way is through site consultants. And the best way that you can reach out to them is to try and establish relationships with them.
Hi, I'm Elaine Oakes, Director of Keep Walton Beautiful in the Walton County Recycling Center, joining you today with this week's edition of the Walton Waste Watcher Report. Today I wanted to just mention something that was something that I was dealing with. I am a city resident of the city of Monroe, and I had noticed that I had not seen the leaf truck coming around, and that there were a lot of leaves on the sides of, on the edge of the people's yards waiting to be picked up. And so I had called about that, and basically the truck that has that big kind of like a vacuum hose on it, it's trying to be repaired, and it's going to take a little while for it to be repaired. And I talked to one of the people there that said, if you were in great need of having your leaves picked up, it probably would be better to put them in a bag. I know that we had raked ours up to the front of the road where they usually pick them up, and they had remained there, and I knew that wasn't the normal thing to happen, that they usually were pretty good about picking them up. But that is kind of what's going on, and they are having some equipment problems with the trucks. So they are working on them, and hopefully that'll be fixed. But if anybody else is like me, I was getting a little bit frustrated and wondering what was going on, and that is actually what is going on. Also, I want to mention, and I don't have all the details on it now, but Arbor Day is always in the state of Georgia. It's celebrated the third Friday in February, so that's around the corner. I talked to Krista Carroll, who chairs the Monroe Tree Committee, and Monroe is a tree city now, and they are going to be doing a program. It'll be a little bit more of an educational kind of program for information on the trees. They're going to actually have an arborist come in and talk about the reasoning behind the reason the trees from the courthouse had to be removed. I think a lot of people, when they don't understand all the details of why that sometimes has to happen, this will be a really good time to get information, and there'll be some other activities involved with that, but it will be on February the 28th. That's a Saturday. It's not going to be on Arbor Day, but that was when they could get this arborist to come in and actually do the program. And it's probably going to be on around 10 o'clock on that morning. I don't know for sure, but we sure would like to have some people at least put that on the calendar. And if you don't hear more about it, you can certainly call me, because I'll know a little bit more details closer to time if you're interested in coming. I think it's going to be a real interesting program that day, and I know that I plan to come. Nobody needs to they don't even need any volunteers. They just want people that are interested to know about it. So I appreciate you watching today, and if you have any questions at all about recycling or Keep Walton Beautiful or the things that I've just discussed, please give us a call at 770-267-1421, and my extension is extension 5, so if you need any further information on Arbor Day, you'll definitely need to talk to me on that one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Hello Walton County, this is Kevin Little with the Chairman's Report, Channel 16, Walton Entertainment. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that's going to be going on in the future, and some of the things that's happening right here, right now in February of 2015. On January the 20th, the Walton County Board of Commissioners, along with constitutional officers and department heads, had a board retreat here at the historical courthouse in downtown Monroe. We had some major issues that we had to discuss and try to get to and figure out what we were going to do going forward. Roads and Bridges Superintendent Steve Chandler came in and made a presentation along with Jimmy Parker discussing our road needs and traffic congestion and problems that we have here in the county, and made that presentation. Morris Jordan, our water department director, put some information out about Hard Labor Creek and water lines and water distribution throughout the county. Jody Johnson, our Parks and Recreation director, talked about the growth in the Parks and Recreation area and our lack of fields and lack of playing areas for the citizens there. And Wendra Williams, our 911 director, talked about the facility that we have at 911 operations building. Was built in the very early 90s, and it's still small, but we're in the process of expanding it. And she's also talked about the Motorola system has got to be upgraded, and that's some things we need. Mike Moore, the fire department chief, he discussed, we got the current fire station going on Jacks Creek Road, out near the Good Hope eastern side of the county, and he talked about the future fire station of combining Station 3 at Walnut Grove and Station 12 at Youth into one fire station just north of Walnut Grove to cover the area there. And finance, Linda Hanna, our financial officer, came in and discussed several of the items, how our budget's doing, how the finances of the county look like going forward, and how our splash dollars was and how the trends are coming in there. Hank Shirley, our facilities director, he discussed what we're doing here on the courthouse square with the historic courthouse, redoing the roof, redoing the windows. Unfortunately, we had to take trees down on the front and other items there. He also discussed several of the older buildings around town needing roof work, and the roof work was going to cost a good bit. And he did also talk about the needs for more space for our archives. We've got to get our archive papers up and out where citizens can see them and pull them if we need them readily accessed. And then Sheriff Joe Chapman came and talked to us about the jail and the jail expansion that was approved in the splice from back in 2012 when we voted on that election. So the board, we sat around and looked. Walton County is on our side. We're bringing in about $6 million a year on this splice. The cities get 40%, so they're getting their portion is equally distributed. So over the 6 years that we're going to bring in about $36 million, and we've spent somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 6 now of that money. We got it allocated out. And there won't be any more splash dollars until another vote or until the citizens do vote for another splash. So basically what we're looking at, somewhere around $29 million from now to December of 2018 before there won't be any more new dollars and splash dollars. So you got this big pie that you got to try to figure out what we need, and we got to equally divide our need, not equally divide, but we got to divide our needs of what you, the public, want, and what our departments want, or what the needs for the county going forward are. And so that's some of the tough decisions that us as elected officials have to do, and try to make decisions best for you and for the future of the county. The jail is the biggest issue. We have option to build onto the current facility or build a new facility. And so with Governor Deal and his initiatives that he's had since he's been in office, has drastically reduced the jail inmate population all over the state of Georgia. And so that's something that you got to look at. What's that trend? How long is that going to last? And is the future going to continue to go with less people in jail? And that, if that does, then it may change our options. We've grown in Walton County from 36,000 in 1990 to 60,000 in 2000 to 85,000 in the 2010 census. We're projected to be 105,000 in 2020, and we're still riding on the same roads that were built in the 70s. And so no new lanes, no new lane miles, no improved intersections. You're getting to see a lot of congestion in the Monroe and Loganville area, not as much in Social Circle, But peak times right now, Monroe and Loganville is standstill traffic. And if we don't take some initiative, DOT funds very little nowadays. Through the federal government, they don't get a lot of money, and so that's something that we've got to look forward to. And this splice is what we got to look at, or property taxes. And so that's, splice is what you, the citizens, like for us to use. Water lines and water improvements. We have a lot of folks in Walton County on the western side who has got low water pressure, but they own county water. And then we got a lot of citizens in the southern part of the county who's going to be being able to see Hard Labor Creek and not be able to have water. So we've got some tough decisions to make there. And as I talked about the fire station, we're looking at building a fire station at on 81 north of Walnut Grove to combine the two out there. If Highway 138 and 81 is expanded at that intersection, the old Walnut Grove City Hall will go away, and so we would be without a fire station. And Darryl McWaters has graciously donated 2 acres of land to the city of Walnut Grove, and we'll be able to build a fire station on that just near Corn Dogs. So it's a little bit things that we have going on here in the county, a lot of decisions. If you have any harsh opinion or concerns, please give your district commissioner a call and tell them where your priorities may be on these projects that I've discussed. And we're always open for information, because you, the citizens, are who we work for, and we're trying to make the best decision for the future. And we are spending your money and your splice dollars, and it's very limited. And so kind of give us an idea of what you're looking for to spend. And so with that, I'll look to hear from you, and otherwise I'll talk to you next time. Thank you.
We're at Walton County, the Felka Park, and it's a fabulous place over here. You can see right here they've got the gym upstairs here. Downstairs they're having a senior fitness group going on. It's very exciting. I mean, you can hear in the background the music going on, and we're going to show you some of the people that are over here exercising right now and having a great time. And I just wanted you to see where we're at today, and then we will I want to tell you more about Walton, Georgia. Welcome. I'm Molly Kimler with the Walton County Cooperative Extension here in Walton County, and I am the Walton, Georgia County Administrator, among all my other jobs that I do with Extension. Walton, Georgia has made a huge change since last year. Last year it was just the old program, and it was interesting and we loved it, but it was needed to be updated. So with the grant from the Coca-Cola Foundation, the University of Georgia and Coca-Cola Foundation have gone in together and revamped the whole Walton, Georgia program. It is absolutely fabulous. Tammy, isn't it wonderful? The new website and everything.
It is. It's so much easier to use. It's streamlined. It's a big improvement.
The one thing that's going to be wonderful about it is we can do groups now. And with the groups, we can do, right now we have the county government, the County Board of Commissioners have 10 groups that they've set up, and I just checked, and they have 28 members on their teams right now. And with that, they're going to be competing against each other. Now, when we say we're competing, in the past we did miles. It's still going to calculate miles, but what it's going to do now, we're going to be doing points, and the points are figured on it's a formula, it's equivalent in oxygen, and it's supposed to be a much better formula. And so where you can do yoga and you can do running, and that's 2 different types of activities, and vacuuming, those are all different. So what they're doing is taking an oxygen level, and that's how they're calculating how many points you're earning. And so that's the way the county will be doing. We'll be doing points this year. We will eventually go back over to a map, and we can do miles again, but they're updating the map. That's going to come out in fall of 2015, and so that will be a new edition for in the fall. And that's fun because they travel all over Georgia. You learn some great places, and Tammy, you learned some great places when you were doing that one, didn't you?
I did, Molly. I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and it was an awesome way to get to know more about my new home state. I got to travel through different counties just by
walking virtually. It was really interesting.
And you found some great vacation places, didn't you?
I did, and I also got to take advantage of the state park system. I got a family membership, and we go try different activities there, the different paths, hiking trails, all different kinds of things. And yeah, it's been a great idea.
And the other thing Tammy's gotten to do is that she and her family have done some filming for Walk Georgia too.
Yeah.
You and I have been to Athens, and then we've been to Atlanta, and we got to film up there. And your family enjoyed that, didn't they?
Yes, they did. It was an interesting day. I started in the Walk Georgia program, and no one in my family had taken part yet, and I was constantly talking about Walk Georgia, wearing my shirt, talking about Molly and the program, and this year they've all agreed to join, and my children did take part in the filming, even my adult children, so that was a lot of fun. And my husband recently joined a gym, so he's also getting fit. So it's I like to say it's like the ripple in the pond.
That's true.
We started with a little bit, and we're spreading out from there.
That's great. That was really good. And that's what we like to see with Walk Georgia. We love hearing the family stories and stories of how people have overcome. And one year we had someone who the doctor told them they had to exercise, and they got out and exercised so much they were really losing weight, and they became a much healthier person. And that's what Walk Georgia is all about. Another aspect of Walk Georgia with the groups, children in schools. Now, if they're 13 years and younger, they cannot sign on as an individual. They can sign on as groups. So what we're asking the schools, and I'm going around and talking to some of the schools now in Walton County and in Social Circle, they're public schools, and any private schools that want to talk to me, I am glad to talk to anyone. What they will do is, I am the county administrator. Then we have with other organizations or groups, they can have an administrator to oversee them. So what we'll be doing with the schools is we'll have someone that's assigned to work and be an administrator for their school. Then they can add on classes. Now what they will be doing is saying, okay, Mrs. Jones's class has 30 students in it, and today they jump roped for 15 minutes, and they jump roped 30 children jump roped for 15 minutes. And then if children want to come in and add more to that, the teachers can add that to it. But it's done as a group, and there's no names. And that is because of the laws of the internet and children's names under the age of 13. So when you do go on to the Walk Georgia page, it will ask you if you're 13 years or older. So please check that you are. You can do this as an individual. We will again be giving prizes for different things going on with Walk Georgia. We've had the Traveling School Trophy now for about 5 years. And we started out with Walker Park, and then Sharon Elementary just grabbed that thing and went with it. And they have won it every time. But we now have Sean Callahan, who has moved to Walnut Grove High School, so we're challenging Walnut Grove High School to beat Sharon Elementary this year. And we're hoping some more schools will come on board and try for that traveling trophy. With the county, they will have a department trophy that will travel all over the county government building and the county government areas. So if there's a company that would like to do this, I challenge you to call me, and we will work with your company or whatever, and maybe we can have a trophy for y'all. But we will have winners at the end. Right now, our target date is going to end on April the 30th. That way we can say who our school winners are going to be. We will, but you don't have to stop then. That's the good thing about the new Walk Georgia. It will continue. That's been one of the gripes with a lot of the people that did Walk Georgia, was they said, I don't want to end. 12 weeks isn't long enough. I want to keep going. So Walk Georgia will be set up to where it can go on continuously, and you can keep on adding those minutes and miles to it. And so that's going to be great that you can do that. We will have prizes at the end of this one. We'll do it again in the fall. The reason we're doing a set time is the University of Georgia does have to, they have to be able to do their research. And so that's why we do have some times available. But if your company wants to set up a time, we can set it up in Walton County for whatever we want to do. We can streamline it the way we want to. We can fix it just for us, and that's what we want to do in Walton County. So if you have any ideas of what you want to do with Walk Georgia, give me a call. I would love to see some of the larger businesses. I'm fixing to talk to Clearview Hospital next week. We've set up an appointment with them to talk to them. They're going to set up teams there with their different departments and challenge each other. And that's what it's all about. That within Walton County, we want to follow the motto of Walk Georgia. We want to move more and live up to the Walton County Challenge. So come on and join the Walk Georgia Walton Challenge with Tammy and I, and we're going to challenge all of y'all to go ahead and get healthy with us, and we're going to try to be the healthiest county in Walton, in the state of Georgia and the United States, okay? So if you have any questions, give me a call, 770-267-1324 for the Walton County office, and I'll be glad to talk to you.
Good morning. I'm Keith Glass, City of Monroe Police Department, and I got Lieutenant Tracy Hanson with me today. And what we want to do is point out a problem that's not only citywide, but it's probably a nationwide, statewide, countywide problem, and that's just litter. And while this is not the most devastating crime that we deal with in the city of Monroe, as you can see from the video, it's a lot of trash, and we're standing right here at the East Spring Street exit coming off 78 Highway, and this litter was picked up about 10 or 12 days ago. And what I'm want to express to you is this is your community. If you see somebody littering, go ahead and call the 911, give them a tag number, and officers inside the city will respond to that. If you can't call 911 for some reason, if you can take down a tag number, Lieutenant Tracy Hanson's going to kind of be heading up something for me on this litter for a while, and I'd ask that you just email her the tag number. Her email is thanson@monroega.gov. That's thanson@monroega.gov. And again, it's your community, and as you can see, and he'll scan around and show you some more trash, but this trash was picked up with community service by community service workers about 12 days ago, and you can see how much is built up. So we really need your assistance, and we're looking at some ways also of places where we have a lot of this, maybe getting some video out there so we can catch them also on video. But we just need your help with that, and if you have any other problems with the crime or whatever in the city of Monroe that we can help you with, please contact us at the City of Monroe Police Department.
I just look forward to hearing from citizens here in the community, and we can work together and hopefully make Monroe not only a safer place, but more appealing to the eye. And just like Chief said, just email me with any problems. If you see anyone littering, or if you can get a tag number, and we can follow up with those people, just email me, thanson@monroega.gov.
And we thank you for your help.
Where do you come alive? A stadium, lecture hall, a music hall, church potluck? This year, you have a new spot, walkgeorgia.org, a free website that provides you with all the resources needed to get your heart rate up and body out in your community. Sign up and receive individual or group fitness tracking, fitness demos by certified trainers, recipes, and a guide to resources in your Georgia County, all in one easy-to-use site. When you move more, you live more. walkgeorgia.org.